The win streak came to an end this weekend as the Huskers fell to Michigan State 20-17. After struggling to be effective on offense and once again losing the turnover margin, can this team hold on to hope of making their first bowl game appearance since 2016? We take a look at what went wrong on Saturday and preview the rest of the season with a very special guest, former Husker assistant coach Bill Busch. Sean Callahan will be along and take a look at recruiting. All that and more next on Big Red Wrap-Up. Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Severe, and welcome to Big Red Wrap-Up on Nebraska Public Media. Nebraska falls to the Spartans, but still has a chance this week, of course, to get to bowl eligibility. We're going to talk about that. Joining me, former Huskers, Jay Moore and Damon Benning. We joked at the start of last show that it's better to win ugly than to lose ugly. Well, we found out this week. It was a tough game. A lot of things went wrong.
Yeah, it's, they've been playing around a hot stove with matches, or whatever you want to call it, and they got away with it. With the offensive issues and the turnovers. And when you don't get the bounce of the football, you get some calls to go your way, and you get an offense that takes advantage on some plays, and you're a little sloppy on the defense, you lose. But with that being said, they still had a chance.
Yep.
They still had a chance to try to tie it up or potentially win that thing. But I'm telling you what, you mess around, you're just not on point. It's just too much to rely on your defense to continue to bail you out week in and week out when you perform that poorly on offense, especially taking care of the football. It was just bound to happen, unfortunately.
Haarberg became kind of a boom or bust quarterback this week. Made a bunch of big plays, but
Yeah, I don't know so much about the boom. There was a lot of bust. I loved the throw out of the end zone to Malachi Coleman and pressure situation, but for the most part, Jay referenced kind of the plan with fire. Buschini had been good.
Yeah.
He was not good on Saturday. The secondary had kept plays in front of them. They did not on Saturday. So even in spite of the offense struggling like we know that they have, everything kind of fell apart for Nebraska on Saturday. And like you said, if you're looking for the glass to be half full, they still had a chance to win. You can't be bad in all three phases, and they were poor in all three phases.
You had to be, and I listened to the game, so I know you were, watching the punt return game. You just can't give up that part of the game, right?
Yeah, I say it to our kids all the time at the high school level. Teams just kick the ball out of bounds, right? They don't want to punt the ball to us. I'm like, I can't imagine giving up that kind of field position every week. And Nebraska was giving up that kind of field position. And they just aren't good enough offensively to try to capture some momentum and swing the pendulum in terms of tilting field position. It was just too much on Saturday.
And your defense is going to have an off week, right? I mean, they can't be completely on every week.
Absolutely, that's just, you can't. And they have performed, they've exceeded my expectations so far in year one with Tony White and the 3-3-5. But it's just, there's a reason they have scholarships too, and they have good players, and there's some good coaches on that staff. So they know if you just give them a little bit, they completed some passes. Listen, I mean, if Purdue completed had some of those catches last week, that game might have turned out vastly different as well. So they found some loopholes, but Nebraska wasn't clean. They had plenty of busts. Eyes were bad in some spots. We're getting calls, right? The communication wasn't as good. So lot to clean up. And for a defense that was probably pretty high on the horse, they got knocked off. So it's time to adjust and get ready for Maryland.
And they were playing against 8 guys in striped shirts, too. We have much to talk about tonight. We can't do without your help. Connect us with, of course, we'll guide the conversation. Your call room is open and running. It is manned by our sports intern. Hi, Hannah. Wave. Of course, we have a student there, too, helping to answer the phones, enjoying Valentino's Pizza, and taking your calls. You can also text or email your questions, bigred@nebraskapublicmedia.org. Even share your thoughts on our Big Red Wrap-Up social media accounts. We'll do our best to answer as many of the questions as we can tonight. In last week's Sideline Survey, we asked you if you thought Nebraska would make a bowl game this year. 69% said yes, 12% said no, and 19% said they were scared to say because they didn't want to jinx it. If you didn't get a chance to vote last week, go to our website now. We have our brand new Sideline Survey post. This is a good question. Which of the remaining games would be the most difficult for Nebraska to win? Maryland, Wisconsin, or Iowa? And as of right now, Wisconsin, not surprising, 56%, although Maryland's going to be a heck of a game this week. So let's take a look at the highlights from the Michigan State game. It was a wild game. Early, 11 o'clock, a little sleepy to start off with. But Michigan State, you got to expect them to come out on senior day fired up, right, and playing hard. And they did. They came out early and made some plays. Hauser here to Brennan Parachek for 17 yards. Good completion there. And then you have this throw to Franklin down the middle. What happened here, Damon?
Yeah, a lot of it was schematics, right? I think they formation Nebraska into some tendencies, and they scripted that first series really well. Now, after that, a lot of gifts from Nebraska.
Yeah, Tommy Hill got a PBU there. That's his 4th on the season. Field goal made, make it 3-0 Michigan State. Heinrich Harburg, pass, complete short to Thomas Fidone. This has kind of really become his safety blanket, right?
It is. He's right in front of his face, and I think Michigan State played so much man-to-man. He knew that was going to be there.
Emmett Johnson for 11 yards, and Anthony Grant comes back. You thought Nebraska had something going in this series, didn't you?
Yeah, they did. I mean, you see them with the run game and their ability to get on the edges and even get up the middle. They had some good things going, but just the consistency of it all and the poor decision making by quarterbacks in certain situations.
Yeah, I don't know if that one got away from him or he thought something different was going to happen with Bullock there.
Either way, it's a whole throw. It's up the hash. I think Nebraska thought they had something with trying to put Michigan State's corners in pass responsibility, in terms of run fits, and Michigan State ended up adjusting.
Fidone with 19 receptions on the season. Emmett Johnson again making a nice run there. He ended up with 57 yards on the day. Josh Fleeks, I don't know if he always looks great doing it, but he does make yards.
Yeah, he's a big play waiting to happen. You just have to be patient with him trying to feel his way through.
The play before this, you called for him to keep it. He keeps it, scores.
Yeah, it was a great little wrinkle. This time, Lindenmeyer stayed on the force. They left the end and got out to the number 2. Well designed, excellent job by Satterfield.
Jay's going to look at that one later, of course. Nate Carter was one of the best players for Michigan State. They actually held him to under double-digit runs, so he didn't have anything longer than 9 yards on the day. He ended up having 50 yards. But Nebraska played very good defense against Carter, and this is one of those trick plays that catch your eyes in the backfield.
Yeah, this was not a great series for number 31. Here inexplicably turns a guy loose inside. Not a great day for 31, but he didn't get a lot of help from his friends.
Makes it 10-7. Michigan State up early. Now we're in the second quarter. Comes Harburg coming back again, making a very good half. A little high, but Fidone, when you throw into somebody that tall, you can put it up a little bit higher.
He'll go get it.
And here's one of the great runs he made. He made 3-4 guys miss here and ends up getting 15 yards on the run.
Yeah, really nice job of escapability. And when he makes up his mind, he's pretty good.
This one right here is, so we thought interception, oh, here we go again. But they called holding on the defense in the middle of the field on Malachi Coleman, so Nebraska's another shot.
Yeah, I wish he'd have thrown the bender, the route to Malachi Coleman, because if he waits a second, he's going to come open.
Justin Albano's now 6 for 10, continuing to get that confidence and kicking the ball very well after kind of a rocky start. Here's Hauser again. T. Henry had a huge second half, 4 catches of 54 yards. Didn't have any targets in the first half. In the second half, he ended up getting open.
Yeah, he used the umpire as a little bit of a shield there, but he was getting open and making catches like this.
Here goes the defense stepping up again. It's several tackle for losses, some stuff plays as well. 0-yard gains there, and then this is a really good play. I talked about this earlier. Look at that, fighting through the blocks.
Yep, you just refuse to be blocked, and great recognition and fighting and go make a play.
What a great field goal, though. You got to give Kim credit here. 50 yards, nailed it.
He's salty.
He is. He's 4 misses on the season, but that was a heck of a one right there. Carter, I mentioned, 5 for 50 on the day. And then Sam Levitt, who is their backup quarterback. This is a really good run by him. He's a really good athlete. Thin, but a good athlete.
Yeah, it really broke their back. Nebraska had set the edge, but he found a little crease. Those safeties got to get downhill a little quicker.
Big controversy here on this throw to the end zone. The replay shows the ball kind of hits the ground. You can't tell if he has it. The backside, I thought that replay showed the ball turned over, but the officials give him the catch.
Yeah, 50-50 call. You leave it in the hands of the official. No bueno.
Yeah, and of course, Coach will talk about
it. Big boy throw right there.
That was a great throw to get off his own goal line. 2 of 39 for Malachi. Probably needed to go to him a little bit more on the day. Then Harburg gets a complete short across the middle to Emmett Johnson, who is doing a lot of good things right now. And then another interception, just a little high.
Yeah, he was wide open early. It's a whole throw. Those are the ones that he struggles with, where I call them atom balls. You got to put it on him right away.
Well, you said all day they just need to play catch, right?
Yeah, there were a lot of guys open. We can talk about that conflict later.
Bullock had 3 catches for 37 yards, and here's the best run of the day, 43 yards, making it happen. Almost scored, just gets tripped up at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, really decisive. See the crease, be the crease. That's the best way to do it.
Only ended up with 37 yards because of all the sack numbers. You talk about balance all the time, Damon.
Yeah, this was fantastic. You talk about a little narrow crease. He sees the cutback, but he stays with the whole integrity. He won't get credit for a great run. That was fantastic.
Yeah, here's another fumble. It's just, you talked about playing with fire.
Yeah, you just got to take care of the football. It's just as simple as that. And 3 games left. We'll see if they can eventually do it one game this season.
Cam Leonard with another tackle for loss there. Carter this time with only 0 yards as they're trying to burn the clock. Gets back to Nebraska. I really didn't think Nebraska would have a shot to get the ball back or at some point, but they just could not burn enough clock. Missed field goal here.
Very interesting play call.
Yeah, very. They even tried
Michigan State.
come back to the Alante Brown throwing the ball again, which was kind of crazy. It's a good completion right there to get them to the point where you think only 15 more yards and you get a good field goal. Ball knocked out here. Both Greg and on the TV call said immediately incomplete. The best thing that happened to Nebraska here would have been if Michigan State would have recovered.
Yeah.
Because it'd been automatic replay, but it wasn't. And so instead, you have this throw up.
No hand, no ball. I think that's the great debate.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, it counts as a fumble. Nebraska loses the game. Let's go to the final stats. Take a look at them. It's interesting. Again, Nebraska's rush defense only gave up 63 yards. Michigan State's been prone to throwing the ball a lot, 232 yards there, but turnovers, that's the big line. 3 turnovers for Nebraska, none for Michigan State. That's just along with the punting problems and returning problems, that's what you're going to see. Overall, when you watch Nebraska play right now, right, obviously, I think the guys are really playing hard and they're giving everything they have.
Absolutely.
But they're so shorthanded that it limits the amount of mistakes they make, right? Because they're missing so many guys.
Yeah, you are. I mean, obviously, you're on your, technically your 4th-string running back with Emmett Johnson. That's where he was starting off the depth chart. Your wide receiver room has been decimated. O-line's been, there's all sorts of guys that played. Effort's been fantastic. It's just matching it all up. The QB play has been good at times. It hasn't been good at times, and we all know that. It's just, you got to be, it's such a finite, edge to how you have to operate. And you're playing against good competition, and you just cannot continue to be careless with the football, make poor mistakes, and then afford to do those on the road and win. And we've done those, and we've gotten lucky, and we've been fortunate enough to make those plays defensively, make better plays, special teams. But when you don't, like DB said earlier, you don't have all 3 phases clicking, you're going to lose. I don't care if it's against a 2-6 team. You're going to get beat. They just got to be better, and hopefully they can figure it out. Finish up the season.
Yeah, the great conflict. For all the consternation, hand-wringing we have about wide receivers and tight end play, the conflict was, what does Satterfield do? He sees what we see. Guys are running wide open. And we keep talking about wide receiver depth and injuries, but it seems like multiple weeks in a row, guys are open. So Nebraska's got to figure out how to play catch, just simply play catch. Satterfield's dilemma was, okay, I see guys open. This secondary is inexperienced. Yep. They're young. They're struggling to cover guys. Is this an execution thing, or are we just not, do I need to call something different? I think he settled on the fact it was an execution thing, so he stayed with it. But again, when your margin of error is so slim, you need all 3 phases of your game to be on point. And it just wasn't on Saturday.
Coach Rule said he didn't consider making a quarterback change. Did you think about maybe a quarterback change as the game was going on?
Potentially. It's tough because what do you want to do? It's how do you want to operate? Because I think Haarberg, his athleticism and being able to run the football in that dynamic, that presents a problem with the defense. You got to commit a safety and another one to the box to take care of the run game threat, or do you want to bring in Chuba? Or do you want to bring in Sims, what do you want to do? We've seen Sims. He's had the same issues taking care of the football. We haven't seen Chuba at all this year, but now he might be a better thrower, but is he as good of a runner? So it's just pick your poison, right? Do you want a couple good runners who don't take care of the football, or do you want a quarterback who can throw but is not as agile and mobile? So it's just, to me, I think you have to have the QB run aspect available for this offense because you're shorthanded, and it just stresses the defense a little bit more than if you put a QB in there. It's like, we might not see the option, we might not see the zone reads and all those things. So I have no problem with them sticking with Haarberg.
It's a total hypothetical, and I'm not sure on the answer, but I think the follow-up to the question of did you think about putting a new quarterback in the game, and Coach Rule usually is pretty measured. He chooses his words extremely carefully, and what he talked about was Haarberg's competitiveness and him wanting to be there, and him wanting to be the quarterback. So the follow-up question to why you wouldn't think about playing another quarterback is, how bad do your other quarterbacks want the job?
Yeah.
Are they okay with just being okay and kind of don't want that drama? I just felt like that answer was interesting. It left me with more questions than answers listening to him because I just know how he talks. And I figured, I mean, does Sims want to win the job back, or is he okay with what's going on? If that's the case, then they got to play the hand that they're dealt.
Well, you talk about it all the time, being the man, right? It's one thing to talk about being the man, maybe even spelling, but when you come into this situation at Nebraska to play quarterback, it's being the man.
Significantly easier to spell the man than it is to be the man.
Yeah, and that definitely we've seen that. Yeah, because only in 2 games, Jeff Sims had 7 turnovers.
Right.
But we know what's happened with Harburg in terms of he has 12 fumbles now. He's got 6 losses. He's also got the 6 interceptions as well. So 12 turnovers, you can't have that happen. But he's the only one that wants to be out there, and he's got 5 wins.
He got 5 wins. There's something to that, though.
Yeah.
You got to consider that as well. And I think DB, he never thought about that aspect of wanting it, right?
Yeah, right.
Do you want it, or are you okay just hanging out?
I just think that's the great question because when I look at how the turnovers happen, what's going on, they're very similar. I mean, maybe Sims' ratio is higher, but when you look at how egregious some of the turnovers are, it's like, well, this guy clearly has, he cemented himself into where we don't question it. Is it solely about the want to lead the team? Because if that's the case, then our discussion is over, right? If a guy just wants to be the guy and another guy is not really quick to want to usurp the role, you got to live with the results.
Well, you brought up a great conversation because Michigan State was one of the worst pass defenses in the Big Ten. So
they were bad.
You know who else is bad? Maryland.
Yeah,
you're getting ready to go up against another defense that does not stop the pass very well.
Almost every pass play that was called, it was like, well, he was open.
He was open. Yeah.
There was one time he missed Coleman on a little over route where it's probably only about a 10 to 12 yard pass. If he throws it, there's no question he bangs his head on the goalpost. So some of that is
on the other side instead of throwing.
I can see what Satterfield is saying, and I know our frustration mounts, and we talk about play calling, but it's like, man, can we just play catch? Can we simply just play catch? Because guys were open.
Let's talk about the D-line. I think this week it's going to be huge for the tackles because you have to get pressure up the middle against a smaller quarterback. But how do you think the defensive line played? You
know what, they've okay. I thought they were improved after the Purdue. I thought the pass rush lacked a little bit in Purdue game. They're able to get some pressure. It was okay. I'll just say that they weren't great. I thought Cam Lenhart showed some flashes. He seems to finally getting healthy.
Getting in shape.
After that injury he had early on. They were just okay. They're going to have to get after it because Maryland's going to be able to. Their strength is in the passing game. So if they get to Tagovailoa and get him uncomfortable, which a lot of teams have been able to do here in the last couple of weeks, you got to have it. Otherwise, it's going to be an interesting test for the defense.
Yeah, the thing that Nebraska won't have to worry about this week with Maryland that they did with Michigan State, especially with zone read, outside zone, and hand sweep game where the quarterback can keep it, is when you play so much man-to-man and you have man-to-man principles where even it looks like quarters, getting your secondary into run fits can cause you problems. And Nebraska's D-gap, outside gap run fitting was a little bit of a concern. They made a nice adjustment in the second half. They won't have to worry about that with Maryland. They've struggled to run the ball. With the sacks, they were minus almost 50 yards against Penn State. But it's a better matchup for Nebraska if they're disciplined with their eyes in the backfield. Because I felt like the eye candy really caused Nebraska some conflicts.
Can you tell me about the new conference rule that doesn't allow Nebraska to run the ball twice with the same guy?
Yeah.
More than twice. You get 2, you got to come, you got to stop.
Yeah, and so they have some options, right? Do they want a gap scheme or do you want to run some duo? I like them a lot with two. I like their traditional eye.
Yeah.
I like them in the 2-by look where it's like twins where you have 2 receivers to one side, tied into the other, so you kind of have the closed side. They can do some things with the defensive alignment that I think are advantageous. It's just all about being productive on first down. They were unusually bad generating positive yards, staying on schedule on first down in East Lansing. And I couldn't believe they had such a good third down conversion rate. Conversely, Michigan State was pretty good on first down and awful on third down. It ultimately caught up with Nebraska.
And that happened with no penalties. 0 penalties and still struggling on first
clean
down.
Game.
Let's take a look at the remaining schedule. Obviously, we all know Maryland this week. You go to Wisconsin, and then you have that game Black Friday. I mean, it could be for bowl eligibility. It's already a lot anytime they play Iowa. This could be one of the biggest games they played.
It'll be very low scoring. I can imagine that.
No doubt about it. Hey, if you can win 6-3, that's fine. Our players of the game are Luke Reimer and Emmett Johnson. Luke led the team with 7 tackles in the game. Also had a tackle for loss, played very well, flew all over the place. And Emmett Johnson ran for 57 yards and got his second career touchdown for the Big Red. Great job by him. With that, we toss it to Jay Moore, who's in the huddle.
All right, even with the loss, we're at 2 positive plays, 1 defense, 1 offensively. So I like this. We're going to highlight this Cam Lenhart sack that he had. So he's right here. He's technically in a 3 technique on the outside shade of the guard. Michigan State's going to kind of go a little protection here. They're zoning this side, slide protection. They're man to the 2-man. Usually when the back is offset from whatever the back's to, the center goes opposite. So in this situation, he does a really good job of recognizing the slide. The guard's kind of not working on him, but he's going to get the slide protection here from the center coming hard. Does a really good job of kind of getting skinny here and defeating him and not getting caught up. And does a good job of just getting him down here. It's a really good high-level play for a true freshman guy that's finally getting healthy. Secondly, offensive, the first touchdown play with Harburg. Borkature, Lindemeyer on the edge here. Bring a guy in motion, love the play design. You get a really good play fake, leave the end unblocked. He dips down on Emmett Johnson. We're going to get a seal here, 3 guys doing their jobs. You get the angle, you get the seal, you get the alley, and leads to 6 points for the Big Red.
Yeah, 2 positions where the future's really bright. The defensive end spot with all the depth they have, and the fullback spot. Man, they have some really good guys playing fullback right now, and they're just going to get better because they're young.
Yeah,
2 good positions.
Very much so.
No doubt about that. We got to step away. When we come back, our special guest, Bill Busch. Before we go, though, here's a look at some of the best photos of the game against Michigan State, courtesy of Hurrdat Sports.
Hopefully, from what was, a very disappointing game, there'll be some things that our guys take away from it. But I'll say, Steve, we had some real missed opportunities on offense that to me, you have to win games in November.
It's easy to blame, the kids got to execute, or this kid's young, and that's not it. I mean, I've got to get them, put them in positions where they can go and have a chance to execute plays to get ahead of the sticks, and we're going to do that moving forward, making sure that we have every opportunity to go, gain the maximum amount of yards on each play.
You look back at the game, and the first half, it wasn't to the standard. And then the good thing about the guys and the sideline and everything about an atmosphere like that was when we needed to the most, you saw the guys come out. I thought that's when they were the most alive and they were back to normal and playing to the standard.
Yeah, we put pressure on the players. Yeah, we put pressure on ourselves. I'm glad that they recognize that, hey, if we won that game, we had a chance to go to a bowl. I'm glad they recognize if they won that game, hey, we're kind of alive maybe in the Big Ten West. You have to come face to face with your demons and your fears and say, hey, when that was happening, did I play free and loose or did I play tight? They know how good Maryland is. And, it's 17-17 against Ohio State late in the third quarter. They are an excellent, excellent football team. And so, to me, the challenge for us has always been to humbly prepare for the other teams, the other opponent, but never make it about the opponent.
Welcome back to Big Red Wrap-Up. Joining us now, former Nebraska assistant coach and now member of the media, Bill Bush. Member of the media, how are you doing?
I switched over. I'm on this team right now. I like that.
I'm trying to work my way out.
Very, very fortunate to have a place to go in the morning. Sipple reminds me every day that I don't have a job, so I'm a lot of free time.
Your job is saving his bacon.
That's it. Exactly
You do a good job of that.
Well, I'm very lucky. I'm like joining the Patriots at Tom Brady for Super Bowl 5 and 6 because those guys already built that show up. And I'm just kind of riding it right now. I kind of came in late when those guys already had that show going, so really happy to have a chance to do that.
Thank goodness for Jake Sorensen.
Yes.
Yeah, he keeps the thing really going straight. Let's talk about what you've seen so far in the season. You know a lot of these guys on the team on both sides of the ball. What do you think how they played so far?
Well, it's been a lot of fun to watch them. Obviously, what stands out is that you've got great kids. You got great kids on both sides of the ball. I was able to be around almost all the guys that are playing now. We're all here, especially defensively. It was a different situation for me. I was with special teams only up until I got made defensive coordinator. It's that threw me into that realm. But also, we just had so many great kids. So I know a lot about them, and I knew the success they would have defensively going into it because of the character of the team. And then obviously offensively, I know all those guys. I worked at the offensive line with field goal protection and all those different things. So obviously, they've got 5 wins, and they're 1 game out of the West, and they have every chance to win the West.
Sure.
So in my mind, that's very positive. Extremely positive.
Coach, when you talk about like the emotional versus the physical, when you watch this team play, they've really started to show signs of hanging in there last year and playing hard for you guys, and you watch this year. How did the scheme that you see defensively kind of marry up with what you think a lot of the personalities are to allow them to flourish?
Well, I think that obviously I don't know Coach White personally, but I know he's an incredible coach. I've had a chance to visit with him, a couple different times. And the thing with the defense that they're running is that it really turns into sometimes this name has this 3-3-5 to it, but it gets back to still under and over principles of what's going on. And so what they're doing is it's more of a floating D lineman in a way, instead of just 4 hands in the dirt with this type of thing or a odd front. So they play the odd front, they play the even front, they play over and under, they do all those things, but they're very multiple with it, and I've been very impressed with them having the ability to get players in the game because when I was with Coach Ogeron at LSU, he's always like, get them in early. So that way they feel they're in the game and they're part of the game. There's nothing worse all of a sudden mid-third quarter, hey, as you be in get a couple carries in there. And so you don't want to do that. So I think that Coach White's done a great job of creating a unit that knows that they're all going to get to play. Some are going to play a lot more than others. Trust me. There's some guys that's just the way life works. But they feel like they have a lot of LRPs, which is limited role players, which means they not may have as many snaps, but they play early and they show up in big games.
He's heavy-handed, isn't he?
Yeah.
He popped you good. I heard the sound.
Being able to play a lot of guys and play young guys, especially coming in straight from high school. I know some of these guys were able to come in the spring, but understanding the concepts with the new defense, understanding the intricacies of playing a Division I defense. How important is that message and how you're trying to get across the fundamentals and the techniques to young players to be able to take that so early to go and do that in year 1?
There's always such it was a massive change when I took over on defense because we changed everything. So we try to keep some same as far as verbiage. So the verbiage here changed, but they had enough time to be able to change it. And so that had a chance. And you're always in this struggle of all the time. It's like, okay, it's fundamentals, and I am such a believer in individual drills. I know that's a big part. It's like, hey, if we drill it, we film it, If we film it, we watch it. If we watch it, we fix it. Individual is so important. But then you have to have an answer when they line up and trips into the boundary. They line up and empty. All those things that can't be like, I got a technique. What is your check? What are you going to? How are you going to handle this? So there's a lot of situational football that comes up, so you have to be able to balance that throughout. And that's why now in college football you have basically some OTA time in the spring where you get to actually meet with your players. Where that was different than when you guys were playing. It was almost, I mean, you couldn't meet with them at all. It was like weight room this. Now you have more time with them, so it allows you the chance to be able to do that.
The fumble issues go all the way back to 2010. That's when you were trying to run the quarterback with Taylor Martinez. The only 2 years they didn't have fumble problems were when they weren't trying to run the quarterback as much in 16 and 17. How much does the fumble go to scheme? Is it about practicing wrong? Why so many fumbles?
I will say this. A lot of times you cannot put your finger on it. You can't just say, well, it was this, it was this. Sometimes weird things happen. I know that it's being stressed. Sometimes it's like when you stress turnovers so hard, you don't get them, and sometimes you just teach your team to play hard, do the right thing, and you get turnovers. So that part of it is hard. When the quarterback has the ball in his hand, and if there's a chance for pitching or different ball handling, there's always going to be more situations with it. I've always said the difference when the quarterback takes the ball and looks like this, now you need 10 on defense. Once he does this, and he's involved in the pistol game like the play that Jay showed, now you need 11 to stop it. And so that's where things change, but also makes it harder on more difficulty in potential ball carrying situations for the different players with it.
I think one of the misnomers is sometimes we kind of look at these guys as alphas and they've got all the answers in terms of their emotions. You've seen it. How much do we under or over appreciate the fact of just when players know coaches believe in them, that gets them to kind of help produce the results that we see? Just simple coaches believing in a player.
Yeah, it's epic. It really is. When you guys obviously played, and when a coach, when you're talking to a coach and you're like, okay, I did something wrong, but they believe in you because they know that you've been trained. I love that one. Like I love when someone's warming up like that. Coach, believe in me. I'm like, I wanted to believe in you on Thursday. That made me put you in the game. So when someone does it all week and something's not quite right, that's when you have. Also, you coach extremely hard during the week. Game day, you coach very intelligently, which means that's not a time on the headphones or any time like that where you want to lose your mind on anybody. You want to be very, very tactical. Here's what we're doing. Here's the adjustment, like that. There's nothing better than something not right. Jay, you lose contain, and someone's like, "You're all right, you got it." Then you're like, I got it, like that, because there's not a lot of reason to be like unless you made a technical error on what you did. It's like you're aware of what happened. Have you ever fumbled before?
Yeah.
You came off with
national television. Hurt my feelings.
Yeah. So also it's not. So it's like or a receiver coach yelling at a wide receiver like that. Catch the ball. Yeah, no kidding.
You obviously coach special teams. We always compare, outside of Jay, all three of us have had some bad swings when we're playing golf. You think that was Buschini? He just had, because he was struggling, it seemed like with his footing a little bit on that grass field. He had a bad day. What'd you see from?
That was shocking to me. I had a chance to be part of the recruiting with Brian.
Yeah.
He's one of the best punters I've ever punted. That I've ever seen punt here. And then obviously I was with Sam Cook here, who's, it was an incredible player in the NFL forever. So I've seen what these punters look like. And Brian is extremely talented, outworks everybody. It appeared on one of the plays, I thought he rolled his ankle. It looked like there was like a stability thing that happened on it. Yeah. And then what happened from that point in time, I don't know, with it, because it appeared to me that the weather was, everything I've told you was the weather was great.
Yeah.
It was like no wind, 50 degrees. So that was a little bit strange for him, but I expect him to bounce back really well.
When you're taking a look at kind of the lack of returns versus what Michigan State was able to do and what Nebraska was doing, punting the football, a rough calculation in your head, you're really good at doing this on the fly. What do you think field position alone was worth on Saturday in a three-point game?
Yeah, it's a huge advantage. We call it the hidden yardage. It's the typical special teams coach talk. You always put the clip up, and this was our net on punt, this was their net on punt, this was this. You go through all the different yards that you have with it. And I know there's been some concerns with the punt return game. So first of all, my favorite guy on the team, and other people say you have favorites, you can't have favorites. I do. It's the punt returner. He's by far my favorite guy in the football team because it takes a grown man to stand back there. When it comes to kickoff return, 30 guys will do that because when you catch the ball, they're 30 yards away.
Yeah.
When you catch punt return, there's a chance you have a guy 1 yard away, full full stride length. So there's a lot going on back there in decision making that he has to do. And then also, just like that, it's very important to know that I used to always say on punt return, there's two things that have to happen. There'll be two signals. It'll be touchdown Nebraska or first down Nebraska. It cannot be the other way. It's a 45-yard turnover. So fielding the ball is very important. Right. But when you have available balls, you used to always talk, we'd be like boom, that's a home run ball. It means more of a line drive, and you're going to have space. That's when you're trying to, if I get 10, if I get 12, we'd be ecstatic when someone got a 10-yard return. Fans don't, I got a 12-yard return. Like, no, it's a first down, and it changed possession. Also, if the ball hits the ground, the average is an 18-yard roll. So it's so important to teach people to get to the ball, catch the ball, or be able to one-hop the ball to save the lost yardage going the other direction.
We'll talk about a couple of young guys who have really flourished in this defensive system. Makai Bayer played very well, and Bullock as well. Both of those guys. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen with them when they were getting
both of them, first of all, great young men, worked their tails off, and now they're, last year at the beginning of the year, neither were healthy. When they first got started. They got healthy back as we got going. John was a big player on special teams for us right there, and he wasn't healthy for a long time. So those two guys just with it, and I'm just, especially talk to these two. When you're a year older, it's a big difference. Yeah. It's such a difference. When you've been around it, you've seen how they practice, you know what you're going to go into in the game, that helps you so much. But those two guys right there, that doesn't shock me with what they're doing just because of character, effort, toughness, the willingness. It's old school, put your face on people, and they do that.
They're going against a team in Maryland that throws the ball a lot. Most attempts, second best pass in the Big Ten. How do you combat that? They got a lot of talent on the outside. They got a quarterback who can move, climb the pocket. How do you combat what Maryland does?
Usually multiplicity helps you with it. There's some times at this where you can be dropping 8. Pressures can be different, all the things. There was a time in the game where the quarterback for Maryland was 17 for 17, but they were behind by like 21.
Yeah.
So there's also, keep that in perspective when completions are happening, if they're not big shots down the field with what they're doing. And also right now, I think they're going up a locker room that has to be very difficult. Win 5, lose 4. Win 5, lose 4. That's a tough locker room to be in right now. And they're looking, we're going on the road, probably in weather they don't love. I believe they still have, do they have Michigan left? And then they have Rutgers.
Rutgers, yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
I think that's a tough 3. So they're in the same boat as far trying to get bowl eligible. And so I think that is an advantage for Nebraska. But in the throw game, you want to change things up. I will say this. Tip balls will be a big part of the game.
Definitely. Tip
balls with the line of scrimmage with quick game, ball getting out fast. There's nothing more frustrating to a quarterback on the 3rd and 4 or 5 or whatever, and a tip ball knocks it. Everybody kind of does, oh man, and it still counts as an incomplete pass. Yeah. And so if you can't get to the passer, hands in the flight lane will be very important.
That almost changed the game. Bayer almost intercepted the tip.
I know. I thought he was going to get it.
That was huge. Let's start with the last 2 games, Wisconsin, Iowa. It's become really good rivalries with Nebraska. Your thoughts on those last 2 games?
Well, right now, I guess, Wisconsin is very similar to Nebraska. Top 2 tailbacks are out, quarterback's out. They've been banged up. They played really hard against Ohio State.
Yep.
And then I knew going into it, this is going to be a tough game against Indiana, because Indiana was kind of in this mode of they played really well against Penn State. So I have great faith in Luke Fickell. I coached with him at Ohio State. He's a great coach. He's a great guy. So I have faith that he'll get his team back to right. But you're not facing a juggernaut. And then at Iowa, last game it was they had 169 yards of offense against Northwestern. Yeah. And Northwestern's a back-end defense and statistically in the Big Ten, still not able to. They threw for 85 yards and rushed for whatever. Yeah. So I think right now it's a game where against Iowa, if you can get 13. If you can get 10 points, of course, right there. And then that's not always easy. It's not always easy, but you'll have a great chance to be able to outscore them in that spot. And if you ever get the advantage, if you ever get in that spot where all of a sudden you're up, and they have to totally change, they have to try to get, they have 3 possessions left, and they got to score at least 13 points in those 2 possessions. That's a lot of pressure on a team like that and how they live. Yeah. So I feel very good about Nebraska's chances. It would be shocking to me if they're in the end if they're not playing Iowa for everything on the line with that. And you guys have already said it. Could they lose all 3? It could happen. But you're also not looking at a juggernaut where it's like, how do we beat these guys? And so I think they're going to be in great shape. I think they'll be playing for it all. And I think, like I said, Coach Rule and that staff has done a great job. They're 5-4. They're 1 game out with the team that's ahead of them. yet to play.
Yep.
Any advantages for Nebraska seeing this passing attack, knowing that they don't have to have those coverages necessarily marry some tough run fits since Maryland struggles to run the ball?
That it makes a big difference,
Yeah.
especially when nub side runs to the nub side tight end.
Yeah, to a
because
close
now
side.
Now we're going to put, or things are going to make the. We used to always say, block the tacklers, block all these guys, block the safeties, make the corner make every tackle, and see if he's willing to do that.
Yeah.
And so when the corner doesn't have to get in the run fits a lot. Now there's no question our corners, that's not a courage issue. I'm just saying generally that's what people will try to do to you to have those things set. Or they're going to figure out a way to trade tight ends to get the matchups that they want. It's like, I want to see this guy playing 6 technique or 9 technique, so they'll trade over. They don't do much of that. That's not how they're built.
Right.
So the strain in a game is run fit way above pass game. It's always, when you're playing a team that is a inside-outside zone duo / gap scheme, then you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then once the quarterback does this with the ball, whether at a pistol or at a zone read look, now it's 11-on-11 football. And that's when the complications get really high and the gap schemes get really high. When there's no gap schemes, that makes things a lot easier for you, but all of a sudden that happens. They don't create as many issues in that because it's always, how do you fit this? That's where all of your time spent defensively.
Coach, we appreciate it. It was great. Thanks for coming to the dark side.
Oh, appreciate it. This is awesome to be on here. Like I said, I'm from Nebraska.
Yeah.
I love this state. I'm very proud of what the team's doing this year. Those players that I was so fortunate to be their coordinator for a few games last year, and I'm very appreciative of that. And so just happy to be here and go Big Red.
All right, thanks, Bill. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Now we go to this week's Husker Up Close segment that features a player that's really stepped up this season.
Tough, physical, smart, just all-around player. I could do whatever you need me to do. I wasn't always flexible within where I need to play. I was kind of just an inside linebacker. Now I could play edge, whatever you need me to. I kind of knew about Coach Rowe a little bit and his background, and I was just willing to give him an opportunity. He gave me the opportunity. I just believed in his process and what he did at his previous school, so I just wanted to be a part of something that's going to be great here. My body has grown a lot different, much stronger now. My body weight is much better. I feel faster. Coach Campbell did a great job this offseason getting us ready, the team ready for an amazing year. So, personal goals is just be there for my teammates when they need me to. Expect the unexpected, like on special teams, just working hard and showing up big when the team needs me. The fans are great here. There's no place like Nebraska, truly. It get really loud here. It's amazing.
We have a new game day photo winner this week. Susan sent in this photo of her husband Bill, and their mother Harriet watching the game from home on Saturday. She tells us Harriet is 100 years old, just like Memorial Stadium, and she's been a Husker fan her whole life. What an awesome picture. Thank you for sharing that. That is incredible. Hello, Harriet. Don't miss out on your opportunity to send us the best game day photo for a chance to win great prizes like these throughout the season. We want to see your game day best. So make sure you send in those photos each week from wherever you are watching the game. Now I'm joined by sports intern Hannah to talk about social media. What you got for us, Hannah?
All right, the first one I have for us today is me forcing myself to watch the Michigan State versus Nebraska game right now. And as you can see, holding your eyes open, it was very much back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, it was difficult.
And then the next one is current mood. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. And referring to that fourth quarter where we're so close.
That was Sopranos. Are you a Soprano fan at all?
I have not seen the whole.
It's not a bad thing to start off with. It's not a bad thing at all. Hannah, we appreciate it.
Yes.
We'll have more, of course, next week from Hannah. We look forward to catching up with her next week. Before we take another short break, check out more photos from the matchup in East Lansing, courtesy of Hurrdat Sports. Welcome back to Big Red Wrap-Up. It's time to check in on this week's Sideline Survey. Which of the remaining games will be the most difficult for Nebraska to win? It's still 58% Wisconsin, 30% Iowa, and 12% Maryland, where Maryland might be the toughest one, actually, out of those three. Sean Callahan joining us now to talk recruiting and some high school. Fred Petito, longtime head coach at Millard North. Thank you. Stepping down after all these years, your thoughts?
Yeah, 41 seasons at Millard North. We had him right on the station for 8 of those championship games, so got to see him up close and personal. Many did across the state of Nebraska. Obviously, coaching Eric Crouch, a Heisman winner, countless Division I prospects. I mean, there was about a 15-year period where they were the program that produced the most Division I players in the state of Nebraska. And just the influence on toughness, the weight room, they were advanced in their era, and he'll go down as one of the greatest high school coaches to be at a school for 41 years.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
A lot of articles written about that. Who's the greatest in terms of any sport in Nebraska, and he's going to be right up there with some of the best. Let's talk a little bit about the portal, because it's been a big conversation this week. How many do you see Nebraska needing to bring in this class?
Well, I would say probably 5 is a safe number to start at today. But Matt Rule, I know last year said that the number they brought in, which was over 10 players, was far more than they ever want to do again. But I still think you can't deny the needs on this team right now. They're probably going to have to look for a quarterback, just not knowing what things are going to happen. Wide receiver could be a spot, offensive line,
which is tough to get.
And then there's some questions about players. Will they come back or come, Isaac Gifford, Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmacher. There's some key pieces that will have to make decisions. Some key offensive linemen. Do they want to come back for what would be 5th-year seniors or 6-year senior situations?
Right.
So it's going to be a wild month in December to kind of put this roster together for Matt Rule.
Yeah, let's talk about a kid who I'm sure his parents love the movie The Incredibles, Dash Bauman. Talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, Dash Bauman from Lincoln East is our in-state spotlight tonight. Kind of reminds you of a Josh Banderas, just the way he's a hurdler. He's one of the top hurdlers in the state of Nebraska.
Powerful.
At a legit 6'3", 200 pounds. So explosive, he's powerful. You always kind of thought Wyoming was going to be a good spot for him. Aaron Bowl, who recruits Nebraska for Craig Bowl, is from Lincoln East. Craig Boll's from Lincoln East. John Gingrey was best friends and roommates with Craig Bowl. So there's always that connection to Lincoln East and Wyoming. But Bauman's just a guy that has a lot of upside and build. And tell you what, Lincoln East was really close to being a semifinalist team. They played, I believe it was Elkhorn South, all the way down to the wire last week, 24-19. And Bauman is one of the top players on that Spartan team.
And then let's go, another little brother joining, hopefully joining, Mario Buford joining Nebraska, of course, behind his brother.
Yeah, he's a 5'11" corner, 8 recruits now from Nebraska's class of 2024 from the state of Texas. Today we talked to Marquise Buford about his brother, and he said, my brother was always coming here.
Okay.
So he's one of these kids that I think no matter who the coach was going to be, he wanted to be in Nebraska with his brother. And the interesting thing about the Bufords, and Marquise said this today, they have never actually played football together.
Oh, wow.
So when they get here next year, it will be the first time they've actually ever suited up and played on the same football team. So he's excited, and he'll have his little brother here to kind of show the ropes and bring along. But one of the top recruits, obviously, in this class from a hotbed in Texas where Nebraska wants to get a lot of kids.
No doubt. Sean, we appreciate it. Recruiting update each week. It's great. Let's take a look at how the conference schedule opponents performed this weekend. Of course, Indiana over Wisconsin was a shock to many, 20-14. Iowa with a 3-run home run in Wrigley to win 10-7. And then Penn State, a 50-burger after 51, 51-15 over Maryland. Let's preview this Maryland Terrapins team. I mentioned to you earlier, watching the Purdue game, watching some of the games this season, when folks get pressure up the middle, they have success. When he can get to the outside, man, he can cause you some problems.
Yeah, that's where Hutmacher and some of those guys will really be key. But I think the thing to kind of watch is without Nebraska having to really use their secondary to get into the fits with like an 8th defender on edge run game or anything, coverage-wise, they should be okay as long as they keep things in front. Don't try to do anybody else's job. Just do your 1 of 11.
Scott from Omaha wants to know, and this is, people don't understand how hard this is, why we can't figure out the screen game. I'm assuming he means offensively playing the screen game, not defending it.
DB knows it better, but it's a timing. It's
3 parts, man. It's hard.
You know what? So there's the 2 things that are the most underappreciated. You cheered for a team, not necessarily the quarterback, that was one of the best in the business.
Yeah.
Breeze was tremendous at selling and being patient in the pocket with the screen game. The other thing is your offensive line has to be really athletic.
Yeah.
And they've got to be able to get out on the perimeter and block little guys. So it's a timing thing. We think it's just, it's hard to block little guys in space, and your quarterback has to be a great salesman. Those are two
We
things
saw
we
it on
don't
the
think
first
about.
drive, right? Fedoni tried to block that corner and just couldn't get over there to make the play.
And that could have been a big play. You're talking about the little quickie to Bullock? Yeah.
But the offensive line has to do a good job selling it, too. You have to invite them up and think. But if you don't do a good job as a D lineman, you're taught to read
Do
screen.
you know how quick they say 1,000? There's more like 1,000.
Yeah. It's like you got to do a good job of getting those D linemen up there and selling it. If you don't, they go. You're like, you're redirecting real quick.
Sean, you have no bias, and so I ask you, Jordan from Lincoln wants to know who would win between the 97 and 94 Huskers?
Oh,
no
man.
question.
You have bias, though. Who do you think? Sean's like, I don't know.
Well, LP.
The difference maker.
Who's the quarterback?
Tommy
And
versus.
Brooks. You got both.
Yeah, both of them, yeah. That's
You got
true.
both options. I mean,
Well, you went 3 deep, right?
No, you talking about 97 like.
1997 versus 1994.
Stop.
That's what Jordan asked the question. I didn't.
94 would.
Yeah, 94 wins
I mean,
that.
to beat Warren Sapp and Ray Lewis in their own place. I mean, that's probably still one of the
incredible.
best wins Nebraska
Yeah,
ever had.
a lot of players to watch. Maryland, we talk a lot about Tagovailoa. We know how good he is in the quarterback, but they have 4 different receivers that are over 30 receptions and 6 that are over 20 receptions. They spread it out. They make you run. And you know what? They've got so much just natural speed out there, too.
Yeah, you got to stop the rack. I mean, you're looking for keys to the game. Limit the running after the catch. That's going to be the thing.
But defensively, they've done a good job of doing that this year, though. Nebraska has tackled well in space. They have tackled well in space. Not their best, but the back half was not their best performance against Michigan State, and they need to get things cleaned up.
Yeah. This is the game that worries me, though, just because if they get ahead of Nebraska, if they explode a couple big plays, Nebraska guys is not built to come back from 14-plus points.
I think Harburg should be excited. I've mentioned this to you guys before. 31 rushes for 164 yards to quarterbacks over the last 3 games. And these aren't quarterbacks that are great runners.
No, they have been.
Drew Allen's not a great
there's
runner.
2 things that have really ailed the Terrapins. They turn the ball over, and they cannot get stops on defense. They have been leaky.
And they've given up 12 sacks the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so
that's how they got. What they have? Negative 50 yards last week.
Yeah,
a ton of sacks.
Is Kevin Sumlin back, or is he still suspended?
Well, I don't know. I don't have any idea.
I haven't read an update on that, but he got the DUI on their bye week, and that was a big setback for them to deal with that in the middle
Loxley
of the season.
has done so well in the first 6 weeks of the season. And
Always,
the second 6
right?
weeks, I don't know what it is about it. Let's look at Nebraska's schedule over the last couple of weeks. The fans, they believe that the hardest game is against Wisconsin. Do you guys agree with that? Out of the last 3, Maryland, Wisconsin, Iowa, that Wisconsin's the most difficult?
I mean, a night game at Madison's always tough.
Yeah.
That's always tough. You get those fans that get a little liquid courage in them and get
thank you for the 6:30.
Yeah, and get greased up a little bit there in Madtown.
It's gonna be a short week for Nebraska.
Well, they have their own issues too. I mean, the injuries on the offense side of the ball, their best players hurt. You know, the starting quarterbacks hurt. They have issues on defense too. I think that is going to be the toughest game.
So 2024 schedule comes out. We get to see that. What did you guys think of it when it came out?
I like it. I'm going to say it. They got a chance to go 6-0.
Oh, yeah. 5 games at home to start. It's very nice. Yeah.
Right,
Finally. Like, finally get
7-0, really.
I want to get greedy.
You got to go to Purdue, you get Rutgers, and then Indiana. You're right.
I mean, it's an opportunity. It reminds you of the 2016 Nebraska schedule.
Oh, yeah. When
Except
you go to Wisconsin every
Oregon
game.
was Colorado. I mean, that was the tougher game there. But they played kind of a mash of teams like that to get to 7-0.
Yeah.
And then they lost, obviously, at Wisconsin and Ohio State.
You guys are going to chuckle. The best team right now, as I look at it, is going to be Rutgers.
Rutgers, they are playing really well.
And they have enough young guys, and Shiano's he's a stud.
Let's get burning questions.
My burning question, can Nebraska get the stops they need this week as a defense against probably the best offense they've faced since Colorado?
Can Nebraska take the ball away? Maryland will give you some opportunities. Can Nebraska catch the balls that they get their hands on? Because they're going to get a couple.
I'm still sticking with it until I get it.
Turnovers.
Can they finish plus in the turnover margin?
Right.
If they get the turnovers, can we do it?
Yeah.
Can we do it for once? That's until we do it, I'm sticking with it.
And I've said it a couple times today, can Nebraska get pressure up the middle? They can get pressure up the middle. Those tackles do a good job. They'll get a bunch of sacks, and they'll probably win the game. Don't forget to head to our website. or Facebook page and click on the prediction. Jay, Damon, and myself will tell you exactly what's going to happen in this weekend's game. Nebraska returns home to take on the Maryland Terrapins. Kickoff for that game is 11 a.m., and of course, it'll be broadcasted, reminder, on the Peacock Network. Pay your $5.99 right now. A lot of sports bars, by the way, will not have the game because they're charging up to $6,000 for sports bars to have it. So if you want to get it, you probably got to get it at home. There's also a lot of Husker volleyball action on Nebraska Public Media as well. Top-ranked Nebraska faces up 2 conference opponents coming up. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Central, they welcome in Northwestern to face off against the Wildcats for the second time this season. And then they get their first glance at Illinois when they take on the Fighting Illini Sunday at 2 p.m. Central. Again, both matches right here to be watched on Nebraska Public Media. And of course, we'll be right back here next Tuesday to recap the football game against Maryland with our special guest, Wisconsin native, KETV Sports Director Andy Kendi. Special thanks to Bill Bush for joining us tonight. For Jay Moore and Damon Benning and Sean Callahan, I'm Michael Severe. We'll see you next week right here on Big Red Wrap-Up.